Hi, everybody. Boy, this really went well yesterday. Uh, I'm trying to answer some of the questions that I get all of the time when I'm on the road, and also in my email and all of that kind of stuff. And I also want to tell you just hi. Uh, right away, please subscribe to A Guy Gilchrist Production on Facebook. Because if you didn't get to see the video last night, then you didn't get to hear my suggestions on if you have a 10, 9, 10, 11-year old child and they want to draw and all of that kind of stuff. What are my recommendations and how would I go about it? Well, I did all of that yesterday in a live video. I decided to kind of do some of these things. We're going to also put these on YouTube, and I'm working with a wonderful team of folks that are helping me out with all of the social media and all of that. Anyway, how did I get started drawing? It's almost Valentine's Day, so this is a perfect question because I'll talk about the love of my life, my mom. She's gone to heaven, but she's still with me everywhere. And my mom was the one that got me started drawing. My mom was a really, really, really good artist, and she was basically a single mom. And I grew up in a little tiny town called, well, didn't grow up, but I was born in and lived there for the first few years of my life, in a town called Winsted, Connecticut. My mom had a lot of different jobs. She was a waitress at a diner, and she worked like at a hotel at the front desk and all of that kind of stuff. And she had this little kid who kept getting into all kinds of trouble and everything, you know, because I'm like, what, 1, 2, 3 years old? And childcare there then was, let's take him to work with me and keep him occupied. My mom was a really, really good artist, and she started to show me that you could draw different Disney characters and stuff like that by drawing ovals. And all of these characters were ovals. And my favorite character was Woody Woodpecker. That's Walter Lantz. And Walter Lantz had a TV show, the Woody Woodpecker Show. And at 4 o'clock, that would be on anyway. But so she would take me to the diner with her, and she would open up the funnies, and she would give me paper and pencil, and she would do some ovals and stuff, and she'd say, "Here, Guy, draw this," like all of it, you know, Pogo and Beetle Bailey and everything. You know, this was like 1959, 1960, 1961, like that in Connecticut. And so all day long, that's what I would do. And there was a little, there was a nice theater next door, but of course we couldn't go to that. It was $1 to go to the movies for each of us. And so if Peter Pan was playing or Dumbo or whatever, we couldn't go there. But my mom, again, with the drawing and the drawing, my mom was amazing. You know, really drawing is making something out of nothing, and making smiles happen where they weren't before, and knowing that you had something to do with it, you know. And that's what I really, really like, and that's what Mom liked too. Anyway, so if we couldn't go to Peter Pan, let's say, she would go to the drugstore, and she'd get the 25-cent, 19-cent golden book of Peter Pan. And then we'd take it home, and we would draw all the characters, and she'd say, "Here, Guy, read this." Of course, I couldn't read, but I'd look at the picture and talk about the story. You know what was really, really cool about my mom? You know, of course, I'd be sad, you know, that we couldn't go to the movie, and she'd describe the movie, and she'd say, "Oh, Guy, I know," and I'm not going to tell you that it wouldn't be the most wonderful thing in the world, because it really would be. And then she'd describe what it was like in a movie theater and say that someday we were going to be able to go, you know. And she'd say, she'd describe how the light would come and the little dust, like fairy dust would come through the light, and you hear the click, click, click of of the projector. And then you'd watch all of the cartoons that came on beforehand, like Chip and Dale and stuff like that. And then the movie would happen. And she'd say, and Guy, it would be exciting and it would be wonderful, and there's all these songs and all of that. She'd say, but you know what? When all of the people that can go to that movie come out of the movie, they want to take that feeling and keep it forever. And of course, it goes away the minute that you walk out of the movie. She'd say, so they want this book, and then she'd show me the book, the little book that we had gotten of Peter Pan. And she'd say, Guy, they would want to get this book, and look, we already have it. And we can read this, and we can draw this, and we can keep it in our heart forever, and it's ours forever. And my gosh, who wouldn't want to do that, right? I mean, we were really, really poor, but I felt rich. I didn't know we were poor. She made something out of nothing, and trash into treasure, and that was our life, and that's how I started drawing. And as time progressed, when I was about 10 years old, well, I kept on drawing and drawing and drawing. And if you did watch last night, then you know about my love for Walter Lantz and Woody Woodpecker, and how I used to be able to, we didn't have television. We were broke. We didn't have a television in the early days, and so she would let me walk down to the appliance store that was just down the same street in the diner, where the diner was, and I would watch Bob Clampett, Beanie and Cecil, and Woody Woodpecker and Walter Lantz every single day. And I could watch from outside, and Walter would come on and he would show you the same ovals that my mom did, and then sometimes he'd take you backstage, and in the back where everyone was drawing, and show you, oh, look at all of these people that all drew just like him and were making the whole world happy. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to be Walter Lantz. And then one day, this is going to be a love letter to my mom, and I guess to Walter Lantz as well. When I was 10 years old, I was home sick, and by then we had a TV, and the Art Linkletter show came on, and it was a talk show, and it was, they used to have an address where you could send in funny stories and stuff like that. It was like a talk show that was on sometime during the day, and Walter Lantz was on, and they were interviewing him and stuff, and I was just mesmerized. And so I wrote down the address of the Art Linkletter show, and then for several months I just drew and drew and drew the best drawings I possibly could. I drew every kind of character, my own characters, but mostly characters that I had learned how to draw by reading and rereading and rereading and rereading and practicing the Easy Way to Draw book that Walter Lantz had put out. It was only a quarter. Anyway, so I got all of this together, and I put it in a package, and I mailed it to Hollywood, California. And then, of course, like any little kid, right? What do you do the minute that you are waiting for something in the mail? What do you do when you're a little kid? Yeah. You basically camp out at the mailbox 1 minute after you put it in the mailbox, right? I know. So that's what I did. But a month later or so, the package came back, and when the package came back, it had the Walter Lantz all in color. It was like a shipping label, all in color, but it was the package. And I almost started crying because it looked like he hadn't even opened it, And of course, he was the most famous person in the world to me, most important, on TV. And I was a nobody. And I kind of was, from what I remember, just freaking out about it, the whole thing, just incredibly surprised that I even saw it and then wondered if he had even seen it. And anyway, I ran in and showed Mom. And we opened it up. And there were all my drawings and everything. He sent them back to me, and he sent a letter. And the letter said, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't have to read it. I have it memorized. It said, dear Guy, you have a lot of talent for a 10-year-old boy, and you try so hard. If you don't quit, and you keep on going like you are right now, someday I believe you will be a famous cartoonist. Sincerely, Walter Lantz. And it was on this beautiful, full-color stationery with Woody Woodpecker holding a lance on a little horse. And it said, Seward Street, Hollywood, California. Seward Avenue, Hollywood, California. Walter Lantz Production, a Walter Lantz Production. By the way, that's why my company is called A. Guy Gilchrist Production. Walter Lantz. You know, when people come into my studio, if you're coming to my studio, you know, you kind of expect a big homage to Jim Henson. And of course, there's a lot of Jim stuff here. I'm in the front room right now, and there's all the awards and all of that. The things that happen when you've been around for a very, very long time like me. But it's really an homage to my mom. By the way, this is my mom on her last birthday. And back when we were really little kids, this is me and Brad. Can you see that? My Roy Rogers. See, I've got a jacket on, and it's in the winter time, but I don't care because I'm eating Cracker Jacks and I'm showing off my Roy Rogers. Anyway, so that letter, of course, from Walter Lantz did everything for me. I mean, from that moment on, you know, he had always been a mentor, but now I felt like I was somebody, that I could be somebody. That somebody who meant the world to me, that was the most famous animator in the world, knew who I was and encouraged me. And that really started it all. You know, if you have a dream and you're willing to work for it, you know, dreams are nothing if you don't work for it. But that's how I started. That's how I got started. And then I just kept on going. I was in fairly close proximity to New York City. I was on the poor side of Connecticut, so it was a day trip to get into New York, because you would get on a train in Hartford, and then they would go all the way to like New Haven, and then New Haven it would make stop all through the ritzy side of Connecticut into New York City. But you could get into New York City. And starting when I was 12 years old, I did go to New York City. And then by the time I was, when I was 12, I guess, when I was about 12 or 14, maybe it was 14, I went to the second Comic-Con that there ever was, Phil Seuling's Comic-Con. It was at the Hotel Commodore, which no longer exists. It's right, I believe, where Grand Central is, where it's Grand Central, and you know where the Grand Hyatt is? That's where it used to be. And there was the world's largest Howard Johnson's across the street. And there was a Comic-Con, and this was a brand new thing. And so, you know, I got to meet people like Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, the creators of Superman. And I got to meet Will Eisner, the creator of The Spirit, Bob Kane, Batman, Jerry Robinson, all kinds of really, really cool people that had created all of the characters that I was reading in comic books. I saw Stan Lee there, and Stan became a lifelong friend was a friend for over 38 years before he went to heaven to join his wife a little while ago. Anyway, that's what this was about. That was the question, and I've answered that. How do you stay motivated and all of that stuff? I guess I'll do that in another one. But please, 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 if you are not following me on Facebook on A Guy Gilchrist Production, do so, because if you're not following me there, then you missed the live video where I was talking to you about your children and giving them advice on how to get better at drawing and all of that. So please, please, please do that, or you won't be able to see these videos. I'm going to be on tour starting next week. I'm going to try to do a couple more of these, maybe one tomorrow night. I don't know. I hope. I promised myself and Shelley Mullins, who I work with, and Tiffany Sims, who I work with, that I would do more of these when I'm not on tour. I do these when I am on tour at the Comic Cons and at the talks and all of that, and I say hi, and we have contests and all that kind of stuff. But this has been a really nice opportunity. I've been home through the holidays, and now we head out on tour. And if you want to stay up where I'm going to be, know where I'm going to be, if I'm going to be in your town. Okay, I'm going to try to remember where I'm going to be for the next 6 weeks. Here we go. Sounds like a Moody Blues song. Where are you going to be? Okay, so starting next week, Friday and Saturday, I will be in Detroit, Michigan. I hope I get to see you there. It's Mike DeSantis's show. It's awesome. It's called the Great Lakes Comic Con. I'll be there Friday and Saturday all day, and I'll be doing panels there, discussions, telling you all of the stories about me and Jim Henson, and answering your questions and stuff if you're in Detroit. Once I get back from Detroit, we head to Loudonville, Ohio. And in Loudonville, Ohio, at the Ohio Theater, I'm going to be doing some workshops with some elementary school children. This is on March 1st and 2nd, okay? So on the 1st, we'll be meeting with some elementary school kids. All the schools are coming, and we're going to do some talks and teach the kids how to draw and all of that fun stuff. By the way, there are tickets for all of these events if you contact the Ohio Theater. And if you're in the Detroit, Michigan area, go online and find Great Lakes Comic Con and get some tickets and come and say hi to me there. Anyway, I'll be in Loudonville, and we do that in the morning with the elementary school kids, and then in the evening, we're going to be doing a screening of Muppets Take Manhattan, where my Muppet Babies debuted, and I'm going to be telling the story of how we created the babies and what that was all about, and that'll be really, really fun, and I'm going to be drawing and stuff on stage, and we'll show the movie, and then the next day, on Saturday, still at the theater, I'll be doing a cartooning workshop for adults and children and everybody. Then, let's see, okay, so I come back from there, and then I go to Greenville, South Carolina the next weekend. I think that's like 9/10, right? 6, 7, 9, 10. It's on, it's a Saturday and Sunday con. It's called the South Carolina Comic Con. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram and all of that, SC Comic Con, and I will be there. And I can say hi to all of my friends in the Carolinas. Then we go to Boston. Red Sox Nation. Patriots Nation. You know I have a Julian Edelman ball. I really do. Go out for a pass. Okay. Oh, come on. Don't hate on the Patriots. They already won. Next year, right? Anyway, so I'll be in Boston, and that's the weekend of That's Gary Summers' show. It's called the Northeast Comic Con. And I will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that is the weekend of St. Patty's. Oh, to be in the proximity of Boston. No Irish folks partying, right? That's like it's like Massachusetts Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day in Boston. Anyway, that's going to be a wonderful show. Gilbert Gottfried's going to be there. All kinds of really, really fun folks. Oh, Bill Diamond, my dear friend from the Muppets. Bill is a puppeteer, writer, engineer, all of that. Worked with Jim at the same time that I did. He might have even been before me. And Bill was in production, and he's got really, really fun stuff like the Fraggles and everything. And he and I love doing shows together, and this is the one show that I know that he and I do together. So we go from there, and then we're going to be back in Tennessee, in Chattanooga, at a convention called, oh my gosh, you guys are asking a lot of questions and stuff. And boy, I've been talking for a long time. So we'll be in Chattanooga at a thing called Metrotham. Like if you take Metropolis and Gotham City and you put it together, you get Metrotham. Anyway, and they also, you can find them everywhere. These are the places I'm going to be in the next 6 weeks. And you can see our updated schedule. I know that we're also going to be in California this year. We're going to be in Georgia. We're going to be, Illinois, a lot of places. I know we're going to be in Texas at least once, and I think twice. But we'll get to that. And please follow A Guy Gokas Production on Facebook. Go and like the page because these videos will get done, but they will come from there, and you can ask me questions on all of that stuff. What is this? Hit that button. Oh, I don't know what that was. Okay. Hi. Wow, there's an awful lot of you watching, and I really, really appreciate it. Anyway, so I'll try to do a couple of more of these before I head out on tour next week. Frequently asked questions. So please do that. And my Instagram is Guy F as in Francis, the talking mule. Guy F Gilchrist, and that's Twitter and Instagram. And we post a lot of really fun short videos on Instagram. You may see some of those on Facebook. If you're friends with me on Facebook, or, by the way, let me just get into this for a second. If you're friends with me on Facebook and you've been friends with me for many, many years on Facebook, and so you're not over there liking the page because it's like, well, I know Guy, and da-da-da-da, please go like that page. And if you're someone that that's been wanting to be friends with me and you've sent in a friend request on this Facebook page and I haven't gotten to you, I'm really sorry, but there are, there's about 2,000 people, and we really just use this Facebook page as sort of a combined feed of the Instagram and all of that. And so please follow me over on A Guy Gilchrist Production. I will tell you that we spend a lot of time on social media, and so please don't feel that you're being ignored because I didn't friend you. I can't friend anybody else, so please go to A Guy Gilchrist Production. Also, on Facebook, you can read Today's Dog. You probably do. Today's Dog. Those are reprints of a dog cartoon that I did for several years in around 2010, 2009, 2012, like that. And I actually started that with Ryan Newman, the race car driver, because I was doing creating some characters based on his rescue animals and to benefit his foundation. So we created some animated characters, and I helped him create the plush toy toys and everything of his rescues. And while I was doing that, I started drawing dog cartoons. And if any of you know me, you know oh my gosh, you know, Keeper is my life. You know, my rescue dog. I love, 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 love him. Oh, here, let me show you. He's resting here. There he is resting. The king. He's the king. Anyways, we have today's dog. And, you know, I retired from doing Nancy last year. I think that we're coming up this weekend or something on the anniversary of me saying bye-bye. And Fritzy and Phil getting married and all of that kind of stuff. And what is this? Oh, okay. Hi. Everyone's saying hi and waving and all. That's wonderful, 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 wonderful. Anyways, you guys, so we do have the Nancy comic strip, and that's on there as well. And what is all of this? Okay. Wow, there's so much stuff blasting on my screen. I'm trying to read it, and let's see. How you doing, Jack? Yeah, well, Jack, it says your studio looks much neater than mine, Jack. This is the front room where I have all of the awards and stuff, and we have meetings. My studio is a wreck. There are 1,000 paint markers all over the place, colored pencils, and Dr. Martin's dyes, and all of that, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's just a big, big rainbow mess, and it should be like that because, you know, we're busy, busy, busy. Oh, so I was telling you about the Facebook and everything. So we have we have the Nancy comic strip, and we update that every day. And we have the Angel. It's called Barely Angels because that was the name of the property, Little Teddy Bear Angels, that I was doing several years ago with Bradford Exchange. And so it's still called Barely Angels. But for those of you that really, really loved my feature, Your Angels Speak, back in the early 2000s, we post those there. I used to do a feature, and this is, you know, my faith is extremely important to me. You know, art is my heart, and faith is the fuel for all of that. So there's a thing called Barely Angels, and anyway, back in about in 2000, 2001, we started putting out a thing called Your Angels Speak, and that was in newspapers across the country. And I did that for about 5 years, and it was a drawing that was painted of an angel each week. And these were just thoughts that I had and illustrated them. And that's up. It's called Barely Angels, and you can go over there at that page. Anyway, so if you are not following me on A. Guy Gilchrist Production on Facebook, then you did not see me talking about how to help kids that are starting out drawing. And I gave a lot of advice last night in one of these Q&As. So please, please, please go over there and do that. And again, if you're somebody that is now watching and you've been waiting for me to friend you and stuff, I'm sorry I can't. There's just no more room. So please go over there. And anyway, I'll try to do at least another one of these this week. And what I'll probably do is spend the time to tell you how I got to work for Jim Henson. How about that? Do you want to hear that one? Okay. So go over to A. Guy Gilchrist Production. We'll put an announcement over there. And I will see you very, very soon. Kindness is so important. And it's becoming a real treasure because, you know, we've got a we've got a world, and don't think it's the end of the world, and don't think it's any worse than it used to be, and all of that, because every generation has said that as time's gone on. And but I do feel that there is an insulation now and an isolation that's brought on through technology, and of course that's been coming for a long, long time, right? We've got to love each other, folks. It's the only thing that matters. Truly, we've got to love each other. We've got to be kind to each other. It doesn't take much to change somebody's life and be a hero. It really, really doesn't. Open the door for somebody. Call somebody that you know would like to hear from you. Smile when you walk down the street. Be nice to somebody. You don't have to make any grand gestures. Grand gestures are wonderful, But just being nice. You don't agree with somebody about the way that they live or the way that they vote? Remember, they don't agree with you either. Love them anyway. Okay? Book of James. Kindness, compassion. I've had the greatest life in the world. I get to be happy making you happy. I get to take nothing and turn it into something. And you know what? You don't have to be a cartoonist or famous or anything like that to be a hero. You just got to be nice. This was a love letter to my mom. And I remember my mom used to tell me when I was really, really little, she says, Guy, you draw pictures and stuff and you tell jokes and everything. And you want everybody to like you. Yeah. Yeah, what? There's nothing wrong with that. Stop yelling at each other, okay? I love you. Be kind. Jim's last words, remember? And he didn't know they were going to be his last words, right? Was, be kind to everyone. Always. Right, Kermit? Where's Kermit? Oh, here's Kermit. Oh my gosh. You know which Kermit this is? This is the Kermit that was a little dress-up Kermit. I used to have a cowboy hat on and stuff. I can't imagine how old that is. Not as old as me. I love you guys. We'll see you again soon. And I have an awful lot of questions that you guys have written to me, and I will try to get those answered. And we'll see you soon. God bless you. Kindness always.